Oi!
What do you want, man?
You think you can come in my turf?
This is my turf,
I
man.
point fingers at...
What are you talking about, man?
I'm saying.
Did you know why your favorite chocolate company Cadbury was formed? Well, the obvious answer would be to make chocolates, but you won't believe it. It was to stop people from becoming alcoholics. So in the early 19th century UK, there was a social movement called temperance movement being led by religious groups. It basically endorsed that alcoholism is bad and overconsumption of alcohol is going to lead to poverty, economic decline, immorality, etc. So John Cadbury was also part of this, but he contested that instead of just opposing binge drinking, a better strategy would be to offer people tempting drinks that they can have in place of alcohol. So he started a grocery cafe which served and sold hot cocoa and hot chocolate, and that is how the company Cadbury was started. But wait, things only got more interesting. So his hot chocolate business started booming, but as he was scaling manufacturing, what would happen is a lot of cocoa butter was always left behind from the whole process of making cocoa. Now of course, he could choose to throw this cocoa butter away, but he was an entrepreneur, and entrepreneurs always know how to spot opportunity even if it is waste. So Mr. Cadbury was like, hey, this leftover cocoa also tastes damn good. What if I solidified this leftover cocoa and sold it as chocolate? It worked, and that is how our beloved dairy milk came into existence. In fact, not just dairy milk. Have you seen the new Cadbury Flakes? Is this fat and soft flaky version of dairy milk? That's also actually created from another waste product, that is those thin flakes that fall out from the chocolate molds while making chocolate. Cadbury's whole story is full of twists and turns and finding opportunities where there's none visible. I'm Achina Maya, and I'm going to take you through Cadbury's exciting business journey and some very useful product and positioning lessons that we can learn from it. Cadbury first entered India right after independence in 1948. India had no shortage of sweets. From gulab jamun, barfi, peda, the list of Indian sweets is literally endless. There was no essential need for another sweet snack, especially chocolate. But Cadbury very strategically created the need for its products through the years. So when Cadbury was initially introduced in India, right, it was considered as a product mainly created for children. Because there's this notion that only children eat chocolate. When a child is crying, you give it chocolate, or when a child does something well, you give it chocolate as a reward. So this was the general sentiment in the market when it came to chocolates. So while the kids market can be very, very lucrative because this kid has the potential to become your customer for life if she likes your product, it can also be very tricky to crack. I actually ran a startup for 9 months where we built and sold products for kids, so I had the opportunity to understand this kids and parents' target audience very well. While your end user is the kid, your buyer and decision maker 99% of the time is going to be the parent. And the buyer journey of a parent, right, it's much more complex as compared to other target groups. So while some of these parents are reactive and make impulse purchases, a lot of them are proactive. What I mean by that is, they're not going to look at a chocolate and be like, oh, chocolate, yummy, let's buy it, just for that hit of dopamine and instant gratification, which is what a lot of us do. For parents, the purchase decision goes more like, okay, what is the product? What are its pros and cons? How is it going to benefit my child? Does it make me a better parent? You see, the rational brain, the prefrontal cortex, gets actively involved, and now your brain is evaluating this decision through a list of parameters. So it's much more tougher to convince the buyer to make the purchase. And parents literally hold the keys to the small human's well-being and future, right? So they're biologically wired to be protective and paranoid to an extent. And this is what was happening with Cadbury. On one side, Cadbury was promoting children gorging on chocolates happily. On the other side, there was also a lot of noise in the market about the ill effects of overconsumption of chocolates. Tooth cavities, too much sugar being bad for health was making parents paranoid and wary of chocolates. And once this parents' audience is convinced that something is bad for their child and could potentially harm their child, they will not buy it. So in the process, Cadbury started losing a lot of consumers and they were like, damn, what do we do now?
Wait, this video is sponsored by us. So we have launched a video editing cohort. In fact, this is Ayush from the first batch of the video editing cohort. Not only did we train him, but we also hired him. So if you're interested in learning video editing just like AVTV, there's a link in the description. It's a free webinar, it's absolutely free, and we will be teaching you something nice about video editing over there. And from there on out, you can register for the full cohort. We're gonna be taking super limited number of students. So if you're interested, just click in the link in the description. Bye-bye.
Have you heard of the concept of positioning? So what is positioning? It's basically the story you're telling your audience about your product's utility. For example, look at this pen, okay? Now, I can either position this pen as a tool that a student uses to write, or I can say, this is a pen engineered using the most innovative technology created specially for leaders and visionaries of the world, and sell the same pen to businessmen, CEOs. Positioning dictates how your product is perceived, and messaging is the means by which you amplify your positioning. So, this is what Cadbury did. They took that same Dairy Milk chocolate and created a new target audience for it through different positioning and messaging. It launched its famous ad campaign, Asal Swad Zindagi Ka, which targeted the youth of India and showed this young pretty girl frolicking and dancing in a cricket stadium with joy. This positioned Cadbury as something that youth loves and consumes. This campaign was such a big hit that every guy and girl started giving each other Cadbury Dairy Milks. But this was not it. Cadbury's understanding of the peculiarities of the Indian market were unmatched. And they leveraged the insights they had about Indians to capture the new markets. Cadbury understood that India is a country of festivals and communities and celebrations, and sweets played a very important role in Indian culture. In fact, my granddad till date gets me sweets every time I visit my parents' house. So Cadbury launched more campaigns to become a part of these small family instances. There was Shobharam, Kuch Meeta Ho Jaye, Pappu Paas Ho Gaya. They very cleverly capitalized special moments and occasions like starting a new job, starting a new relationship, celebrating passing an exam, Raksha Bandhan. Basically, wherever there was a scope of celebrating something and consuming something sweet, they captured that market through their messaging.
Happy Diwali! Merry Christmas! Happy Holi!
I want to give you another example of an organization that has captured a very large market doing the same thing. So in the 19th century, Gillette, the razor company, was supplying razors to every soldier and had become a household name in the US. Now the sales were growing, but King Cam Gillette, the founder of Gillette, wanted to increase the market share further. Now, he had two options, right? Either he could launch more new products for his current target audience, or he could create a new market for his existing product. At that time, the razors were only being sold to men, so he came up with a strategy. Now, women's fashion back in 19th century had just started to transition from those long, fully covered conservative gowns to sleeveless dresses for dancing and going out in summers. Now, these sleeveless dresses exposed more skin, which gave Mr. Gillette more hairy real estate to make money from. So he's like, what if I sell the same razor to women by new strategic positioning and messaging? I'll tell them that having hair is bad and they have to get rid of it, and they can use my razor to do so. So that is exactly what he did. He positioned this razor, which was originally created for men, as a tool to enhance appearance for women and advertised it everywhere. He ran ads across newspapers, magazines, distributed flyers, enough so that people started believing what he said, and through this, he captured a new billion-dollar market.
Shave, 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 shave.
You see, you repeat something enough times to someone, it becomes the truth in their head. Exactly what Cadbury did to become synonymous with the word meetha. As of today, Cadbury has a product offering for literally every single consumer class in India. From their 5 rupees dairy milk to Cadbury Silk, they've captured 65% market share of India's chocolate market through their calculated marketing moves and won India's heart through their tasty products.